Yes, it's amazing how we have created a growth-minded community. I just love this community. I love chatting with you. For those of you that have reached out to me, for those of you that have requested for prayers, I have prayed for you and over you and over your families and over your businesses. And those that have said, which church do you belong? What is your church? Can we come to your church? No, I don't have a church. Okay, I don't have a church. What I have, however, is a community of people that are willing to meet every Friday, and we talk about growth, we talk about personal branding, we talk about creating businesses, and we talk about thriving, making money, serving God, creating better marriages. That is my gist. That is what I love about this community. So thank you so much for joining me, and today I want us to be able to start with our Trailblazer prayer. That you are a trailblazer wherever you are. You are the one that is making the way for the forthcoming generations, for your children, for your siblings, for the people at your workplace, you are created a leader. There's greatness inside of you. And I know that when we call out leaders, so many of you don't look at yourself as leaders, but you are a leader. Even when you can lead yourself, you are a leader. So I want us to make this prayer together. In the midst of your challenges this week, may you rest in knowing that your answer is coming. May your anticipation bring you happiness and not anxiety. May you remember that you are a child of God and God has your back. May this week, this day, this month be a turning point towards something amazing. And I pray that you live to see it with your eyes. I pray that it lives to be tangible in your life. And I pray that you live to testify that God has been good to your life, to your descendants, to your business, and everything else that you touch with your hands will be blessed in the name of Jesus. Amen. So I wanted us to this is the Trailblazer. This is a Trailblazer journal. For those of you that are just joining us and you are new and you have never seen the Trailblazer journal, this is it, okay? What happens is this is a prayer, a daily prayer, a planner, and a business workbook. And just this morning, I was reading, I usually get so many encouragements, and I usually give this out freely to those that are signing up for the mentorship. But for those that are not signing up for the mentorship, you can buy it as a daily prayer, daily journal, and a business workbook. And there's something that I just love that I felt we should be able to, just a small read, and you'll be able to decide for yourself, because there's a whole book in here about business mindset. And the last question that I asked, I said, the question is, are you more committed to growth or are you more committed to comfort? That if you're more committed to comfort, there's nothing wrong with that, but please don't try and build a business. You cannot play the entrepreneur game committed to comfort. If you're committed to growth, then don't play the employee game. Don't follow the path of the scared minds and reaction. Try to be afraid of failure, because that is not your path. You must be on your A game and get out of your comfort zone and be able to start something and be able to do something with yourself. So in case you need this, please make sure that you actually get it from Media Plaza. Okay, Media Plaza, 3rd level, get it. And right now it's still at a discount at 50,000. Just imagine, 50,000. You are getting all this and a lot more that you will be getting from this. So today, I want us to go recite together what we usually call, it's more like the creed for this show, and that is, we are not sinking, we are not surviving, we are thriving, okay? And so in thriving, there are certain truths that we must know, because the Bible says that the truth sets us free. So if we know the truth, we will be free, because then we will be able to activate, we'll be able to execute, and we'll be able to do the right things that we need to do. But however, today my question is, do you know you? Do you know yourself? I want us to go on a self-discovery. Now, I do this a lot in my mentorship class, in the Accelerated Mentorship Academy. I do this a lot as a segment, and I just want to share this segment with you about self-discovery, because it is very, very, very important. And one of the reasons as to why I teach it in the Mentorship Academy is, and for those of you that don't know the Mentorship Academy, it is a speaking, coaching, leadership, personal branding, and sales and a sales academy where we talk about building brands, formidable brands, where we talk about building businesses, where we talk about transforming people's lives and being a people helper, and where we talk about you being able to follow your passion and being able to know your purpose and then being able to actually monetize it at the end of the day. Because if you're going to do anything that is transformational, if you want to do anything that is going to change people's lives, you cannot do it outside of public speaking, outside of personal branding, outside of leadership, and outside of coaching. You have to have influence, and that is what I teach you, I equip you with, to have influence. Wherever you go, influence that is transformative, influence that brings results, and influence that actually makes people's lives happier and flourishing and thriving. And there's no way you can do that without thriving yourself and even self-discovery. And that is why I usually teach this as one of the first segments in the mentorship, self-leadership. Okay, self-leadership, because if you ever want to achieve anything in life, just say you want to achieve your fitness goals, you want to achieve a better marriage, you want to bring up a better children, you realize that everything has discipline attached to it and everything has leadership attached to it, that you must lead yourself to achieve, because achievement is a process. Success is a process. It's not an end game, and it's not a place you arrive at, a destination. It is a process. That means you lead yourself every day by you choosing good over bad, by you choosing to prioritize the right things, by you choosing the right mindset, by you choosing the right relationships, by you choosing to have the good, not just good intentions, but good actions that follow the good intentions. That means that you are daily leading yourself to the achievements, to creating the businesses, to creating a better marriage, to growing in your marriage, to having the fitness goals that you really want to get to. You are self-leading. So this is very important. If you are going to lead yourself, you cannot lead yourself without being self-aware. Because then if you're not self-aware, you will not know your blind spots. You will not know the truth about yourself. And it is so hard to lead yourself without being self-aware. And that is why I'm asking you, do you know you? Okay, and so many of us, because we are not self-aware, so many times I have found myself in a place, or in the past I found myself in places where I thought my willpower will actually do it, that if I have the will to do. But you know what, I surprised myself and disappointed myself so many times, because the will is not enough. Just you being willing to do the things that you are supposed to do. You can be willing, like the body is willing. I think even Jesus talked about it. Like, my mind is willing. I really want. I know what I must do. But the body is weak. So how many times has your body actually let you down? So many times. So many times more than you can count. So you should know that actually just the will, only the will, is not enough to actually get you to your dreams or where you actually want to get. And then something that I discovered along the way with my own life is that it's not just about the will, the strength. I must have a strategy. And that strategy must come out of self-awareness, because if I don't know myself, if I don't know me, then how can I strategize in order to get to the things that I want to get, to, or I want to be able to achieve. So I want us to be able to talk about, number one, how we can be able to know ourselves. But again, why is it so important? Why is it so important that we need to be able to know ourselves? So the will take us through the self-discovery. The strategy will take us into the winning and getting whatever it is. So I want us to be able to start there. I want us to be able to do that today. And I hope that you can come with me on this journey. I know that it's going to help us overcome whatever we need to overcome in order to unveil the deepest parts of ourselves and be able to appreciate them, and then be able to go ahead and live in tune according to the things that we must be able to do. Number one, if we must know ourselves, and where I started with actually unveiling myself to me, was knowing that I was tired of deceiving, of lying to myself. I was tired. Okay, because the world had given me so many names, the labels the world gives to us, and we must know that we have what the us that God made, and then we have the us that the world makes. Okay, so you realize that according to your environment, according to the people around you, according to the schools that you went to, according to the workplace that you went to, according to the fiancé that you got in touch with, there are so many things that have made or formulated opinions of us to us, that now we know that maybe I can't do this, that maybe I'm not supposed to do this, according to my gender, according to my level of education, that is why we limit ourselves so much, even when it comes to the job arena, even when it comes to creating businesses, even when it comes, by the way, to getting into marriage or getting into relationships. Some of us have been fed continuously on a meal of demotivation and not knowing who we are and how beautiful we are. And so we have believed the labels of the world and the environment and the external factors, that we are less beautiful, that we are less confident, that our self-esteem has been beaten down. But that is who the world has formulated, who the world has shaped. But there is the me that God made, in the image and in the likeness of God, beautifully and wonderfully made. That before my body was woven together in the sacred places, God knew me and he predestined a good future, a good ending for me. That means he did not just predestine a good ending for a bad person, he predestined a good ending for a good person, for a person that can make better decisions, for a person that has a good attitude, for a person that can win in life, because we were created as vessels that are supposed to win, that are supposed to go from glory to glory. Now, for as long as I can hook my identity to the true meaning of who my Creator speaks about me, then that is a winning recipe. That is a winning formula for me, and not just for me, but for everyone that is around me. Which lenses are you putting on? Are you putting on the lenses of the circumstances of where you grew up from, of who grew you, of who brought you up, or what your friends say about you, what the world say about you, what internet says about you, when you post what the naysayers will say about you? Because then we are like sponges, by the way. If you do not feed yourself with the right material of whom the God that made you and how he established you and how he has good plans for you and how he has ordained you to be a conqueror, then you're going to feed yourself on a constant menu of these things that demotivate you, that you will never know your true identity. And then if you don't know who you truly are, it's very hard to come against everything that the world says, because then it's not the truth. You're fighting with the lies, but you're accepting the lies, you're subscribing to the lies, you're believing the lies, so you are living a life of a lie, and you are building a life of a lie, and that is not going to materialize into anything. Okay, so being self-aware, the Bible talks about it being sober. You know, that is like being sober. That means that the wiles of the devil and the devil rolling around and wanting to devour, that means you're going to know the truth that, you know what, I am firm, I am self-aware, and then I am sober. I am not intoxicated by the emotions of the world. I'm not intoxicated by who brought me up. I'm not intoxicated by who chucked me. I'm not intoxicated by who rejected me, because all those are emotions and they are temporary. But again, however much we know they are temporary, they shape the biggest part of our lives. And that is why we end up with a lot of self-doubt. We end up with a lot of second-guessing ourselves. Why? Because we are not sober. And if you are not sober, you are not self-aware. If you are self-aware, you are sober, you are precise. You can say, you know what, that is background noise. You can say, you know what, you can say all you want. But whose report will I believe? I will believe the report of God that created the heavens and the earth, the one that is the author of my life, the one that knows the beginning and the end of my life, the one who proclaims the end from the beginning. That is the report that I am going to believe. Okay, so be sober. Being sober is being self-aware, and not just when we talk about not just being hearers of the word, but doers of the word. Now that is also a choice that people who are self-aware actually make. Okay, so let's just go into the the awareness, okay? And one of the ways that I discovered myself, and I had to sit in this moment, it took me a long journey. When I give some of the stories, my life was not it. My life was in shambles. My life was in tatters. My life was torn apart. Like, I just didn't know who I was, where I belonged. Even when I knew God, even when I was deeply rooted in God, there was just something that is not adding up, until I got to a place and discovered that there is a unique design for every one of us. And mine was a unique design, that I am not going to fit into every box that everyone wants me to fit in. And this I discovered when at the time when I was actually joining, the very first time I was joining campus. And then when I look back, that is when I started the struggle of finding out my true identity and being self-aware. And so, I mean, everyone is deciding. I don't know what I'm supposed to do. The curriculum is new to my parents. My mother has never seen a blackboard. My father, yes, he's super educated, but he was just not minding, you know. So, I mean, I get to wanting to figure out myself, and then they tell me, oh, IT is the new thing in Makerere, and so it's marketable, and you know, it's the beginning of the IT, you know, the whole segment and the whole era. And so I sign up for that, and I mean, it's not something that I fell in love with. I actually loathed it. I didn't like it at all. So you realize that we are put in different boxes, and those are trials and errors. I tried IT. I went into business. I tried business. I still do business, but a different kind of business. Okay, so I tried business. I went back to school. I'm all trying. I'm figuring out, who am I? What's my unique design? And what does God expect of me? What do I bring to the world? What's that unique thing that I bring to the world? You have been customized by God. Now, when that clicked in my mind, that I had been customized by God, that this customization distinguishes me from anyone else, that yes, the world has shaped me, but God has made me. And God's making is the customization. My blueprint is totally different. I'm not going to look like everyone else in the world. I'm not going to be like everyone else in the world. So I'm going to have feelings of my own. I'm going to have temperaments of my own. I am not going to copy and paste everything else that is happening in people's lives. I am going to be uniquely me, because I'm a unique design. I want you to sit down and be able to think through this. If you are a unique design, let me say you are a square plug, you are not going to fit into a circle plug. You're not going to fit in. So many areas where you have felt like you don't fit in, it's not because there is anything bad with your life, but because you are customized to be different. And when you're customized to be different, it's very possible that, by the way, entrepreneurship is not for you. Even when we are in an era where everyone is being sold on, start your own business, there are people that are not cut out to do business. There are people that are cut out to be led and not to be leaders. There are people that are cut out to receive a monthly salary and not to go out and hustle and make losses and cry and fall and rise up, because that is the journey of entrepreneurship. You have to put aside the laxity, the luxury, and the comfort of being on the receiving end, and you go on the giving end, but the giving without knowing what's going to come out at the end of the day. But for people that have risked it all, they have gained it all. So you see that we are different. So no one should be able to sell you on something that you totally do not subscribe to. And let me tell you, you will always know it. You will always know it, because you have a totally different temperament. When someone tells you, let's go to a place and it has loud music, you will know that, by the way, the moment you walk in, you will be restless until you say, you know what, I don't think this is for me. I think I should be out of this place. So that is how we discover that some of us, we have knocked ourselves a few times. Like Tim likes to say it, that he has learned the hard way, that he has burnt his fingers a few times. But by burning your fingers, that is when you know what will work and what does not work, what you subscribe to and what you don't subscribe to. And that is when you know that you are uniquely designed for different things and not everything else that everyone thinks for you. Yeah, I was going to bring an example. For example, I've had so many people tell me, "Oh, pastor," and I usually tell them, "Nchizayo, send back to the owner." I don't feel that. I feel called for the marketplace. You know, I feel that is the unction, that is the anointing on my life, the marketplace, not in the four walls of the church. Do I minister in my church where I come from under my pastor? Yes, I do serve. But again, I don't feel the mantle to be able to live in a church and be a resident pastor or be a pastor for that matter. I know that we have argued with my mother so many times. And I've told her, no, that's not my calling. That is your calling. That is not my calling. And we should be able to differentiate that we have different designs. That while God called you for this, yes, I have been called for a different assignment, and this is what I feel. And should God feel the need to change it eventually, I will take heed to his call and not to a man's call. So you realize that sometimes we are influenced into being who we are not supposed to be, but we do it because so and so has said, because Papa has said, because Pastor has said, because your mother has said, because your boss has said. And remember, you're going to live in constant conflict with yourself. Do you know you? Do you know you? Some of us are working in arenas where you have deadlines and you have things that you must be able to do, or reports that you must be able to do by the end, and you are way in over your neck into the deadlines and the reports, and you know that, you know what, I don't think this is from, I think I should be at a level where I am thinking forward, I'm creating businesses, I'm creating communities, I'm building empires, I'm doing, and you feel that there's something, you feel you've outgrown. The reason as to why you feel you've outgrown certain places, certain spaces, yes, it's because you have a unique design. And guess what? This is something that has just dropped in my mind. God created us better than any computer, better than any robot in the world, better than any upgraded whatever you can think about software in the world. But guess what? He upgrades us himself, and he does not seek permission from you. He does not seek permission from anyone. God upgrades you depending on the assignment on the next level where he's taking you. That means that you keep being tweaked and adjusted and customized depending on the assignment and the days and the seasons and where you are going and who you are supposed to influence and the kind of work that you must do for what you are supposed to do. So that means if you plug yourself in a wrong arena, you are going to be destabilized. You're going to be frustrated. There's never going to be fulfillment. Why? Do you know you? You are a unique design. You are not designed like everyone else. It's possible that, by the way, you're doing something. Let me just give you an example. Maybe you are in a tech company where everyone is just flourishing and everyone is, doing all these things, and they feel they're fulfilled, they feel they're doing well. It could be in the media, and you are in media, everyone would think, if I get to her place, if I get to her position. But guess what? You're the only one that feels like you're the odd man out. You don't fit in, and you don't feel, while everyone is celebrating, you're thinking, what are they celebrating? And guess what? Maybe you actually belong in an NGO world, in the charity world, where there is no fame, there is nothing like, and there are not all these glitters, where the glam that people look at, but hidden somewhere, helping the underprivileged children, helping the deepest communities in the world. And that is where you will feel like you are breathing. That is where you'll feel, because your design fits exactly into that. Do you know you? Because when you feel discomfort, that is saying something to you. Can you listen? That you are trying to fit a rectangular plug into a circular plug. You are a unique design. And some of us, we have been misplaced, by the way, in so many arenas. We misplace ourselves according to the marriage partners that we hook up with, or we get into, or we get married to. We actually misplace ourselves, by the way. You could be, your design is actually misplaced in a church where your design cannot be fed. You could be misplaced in a work arena. You could be misplaced in in so many ways, okay? You could be misplaced, but because you have a unique design, that design feeds somewhere, it feeds on something. We are talking about thriving. We're talking about thriving, and we're saying we are not sinking, we are not surviving. For as long as you are a unique design that is misplaced, you are sinking or you are surviving. So you're gasping for air and you're just not feeling like you are yourself. But there's a place you have gotten to, and a place where you don't even feel like this is much of a glammed up place, or it's a nice place, or it's a nice specialization, but you feel like that is where your fulfillment comes from. That is where you feel like, if I lived here for the rest of my life, this is where I will be. I have seen so many whites come here, and you see someone like they have left, they were wealthy, they had everything that they needed, and they come here and they feel like, this is it, I never want to go back. And they downsize their lives and they live, I mean, in the lowest of, but they feel like, you know what, this is the best, I'm serving humanity, I'm giving back, this is where I belong. You are uniquely designed. Do you know you? I leave you with that question as we take a few seconds to just rest up, have a sip of water, come back, let's complete this conversation.